You ever wonder why some people seem to have it all together while others are constantly struggling to keep up? It's not luck, it's not talent. It's not even about having more opportunities. It all comes down to one simple thing: control. Control over what you say, control over what you think, control over how you feel, and control over how you manage your resources. Let me tell you something: if you can master your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money, you can master your life. Most people don't realize that the power to change everything is already inside them, just waiting to be tapped into. But if you don't control these things, they'll control you. These things shape your world. They influence every decision you make, every relationship you build, and every opportunity you either take or miss. Control them, and you control your life. Let them run wild, and you'll find yourself in a place you never wanted to be. So today we're going to dive into this. We're going to break it down. And when I'm done, you'll walk out of here with a new sense of focus and responsibility over your life. Let's talk about your mouth. When I say control your mouth, I'm not just telling you to hold your tongue when you're angry, although that's important. I'm talking about realizing the power that comes with every word you say. The words you speak are like arrows. You can't take them back once they leave your lips. So many people don't realize this. They talk without thinking, spit out negativity, or gossip without considering the impact. But the truth is, the words that come out of your mouth have the power to shape your life, your relationships, and your future. When you speak, you're not just describing the world around you, you're creating it. The words you use build the foundation of your reality. If you constantly speak about how hard life is, how unfair things are, or how impossible your dreams seem, you are literally creating an environment that reflects those very words. You're putting that energy out into the world, and the world responds. On the flip side, if you speak with faith, if you declare possibility, if you encourage others, you're creating an environment where success and positivity can flourish. Think about the people who inspire you. Do they speak doubt? Do they tear others down? Or do they use their words to uplift, to push forward, and to open doors for themselves and others? That's the kind of power you hold. The power to speak life into any situation. But that power can also do damage if you're reckless. You've got to be deliberate about the words you use. So the next time you're about to speak, stop for a second. Ask yourself, is this going to help the situation or make it worse? Is what I'm about to say based in truth? Or is it based on emotion or frustration? Too often, people let their emotions control their words and they say things they regret. But once it's out there, it's out there. You can apologize, you can try to make things right, but the damage is done. That's why you've got to be intentional about what you say. And here's the thing, this isn't just about how you talk to others, it's about how you talk to yourself. Self-talk is real. The way you speak to yourself, the words you choose, when you think about your own life, your own capabilities, your own future, those words are shaping your reality. If you constantly tell yourself, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, or it's too hard, guess what? You're going to start believing it. You'll limit yourself because you're feeding your mind the wrong message. You'll begin to act as if those limitations are real, when in fact, they're just a reflection of the negativity you've been speaking. But when you flip the script and start speaking positive, affirming words to yourself, everything changes. When you wake up in the morning and tell yourself, I can handle whatever comes my way, I am more than capable, I deserve success. That's when you begin to build the confidence and mindset you need to move forward. You speak yourself into strength, you speak yourself into courage, and before long, those words become actions, and those actions turn into habits that shape your future. You see, controlling your mouth isn't about silence, it's about being intentional. It's about understanding that every word that leaves your lips is either contributing to your success or setting you back. It's about recognizing that your words have power over your relationships, your opportunities, and even your own self-perception. Look, life will throw challenges at you, that's a guarantee. But when you choose your words carefully, you can navigate those challenges with a sense of control and purpose. When you speak words of wisdom, positivity, and truth, you attract those things into your life. People will start to see you differently. They'll respect you more. They'll come to you for advice because they know you're someone who speaks with intention, someone who uses words as tools for building, not for tearing down. Think of your words as seeds. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, that's what you'll harvest. But if you plant seeds of faith, determination, and positivity, that's what will grow in your life. So be mindful of the seeds you're planting. because you're going to have to live in the garden you create. Too many people spend their time talking about what's wrong, what's missing, or what they don't have. They complain about their circumstances, their jobs, their relationships, and they wonder why things aren't changing. But they're not using the power they already have. They're not speaking life into their situations. They're not taking control of the one thing they can control, their words. If you want to see change in your life, it starts with what you say. Let me give you an example. Think about someone who always talks about how hard life is. Every time you see them, they're complaining about something. What kind of energy are they putting out into the world? What kind of opportunities are they attracting? Not the good kind, that's for sure. Now think about someone who always speaks with hope. Someone who talks about solutions instead of problems. You can feel the difference, can't you? That's the power of words. That's the power of controlling your mouth. If you want to be successful, if you want to be a leader, if you want to make a difference in this world, you've got to get your words in check. Stop speaking defeat into your life. Stop saying I can't and start saying I will. Stop talking about what's going wrong and start talking about what's possible. And don't just do this for yourself, do it for the people around you. When you control your mouth, you become a source of strength for others. Your words can lift someone up when they're feeling down. Your words can inspire someone to keep going when they're ready to give up. But if you're reckless with your words, if you're constantly criticizing, complaining, or speaking in anger, you're going to push people away. You're going to create an environment where negativity thrives. And that's not the kind of legacy you want to leave behind. So let's bring it back to this idea of control. You can't control everything in life. You can't control other people's actions. You can't control the circumstances you're born into. And you can't always control the challenges that come your way. But what you can control is your mouth. You can control what you say. You can choose to speak words that empower, uplift, and inspire. You can choose to be deliberate with your words, understanding the power they hold. This isn't just about success, it's about living a life of purpose. It's about recognizing the power you have to create your own reality, to shape the world around you, and to leave a positive impact on the people you meet. Words are a tool. If you use them wisely, they will build a life that reflects your true potential. If you use them carelessly, they will destroy opportunities before they even have a chance to bloom. So the next time you open your mouth, remember this: your words have power. Control them. Speak with intention. Speak life into your future, into your relationships, and into your own self-worth. And watch how the world changes around you. Let's get real about your mind. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have. It's where everything begins. Every action, every decision, every habit you build, it's all rooted in your thoughts. Your mind is where battles are won or lost long before they ever manifest in your life. You've got to understand this, because if you don't control your mind, it will control you. And when you let that happen, you end up living a life that's reactive instead of proactive, driven by fears and doubts instead of purpose and intention. Think about it. Everything you've ever done, good or bad, started with a thought. Whether it was deciding to go after a dream, hitting the gym to get in shape, or even making a mistake, it all started in your head. That's why the saying, as a man thinketh, so is he, is so powerful. It means that your life is shaped by the thoughts you allow to take root in your mind. What you focus on expands. So if your mind is filled with negativity, fear, or doubt, that's the direction your life will head in. But if you fill it with thoughts of growth, possibility, and determination, you'll start moving toward those things instead. Too many people let their minds run wild, letting fear and doubt take control. They worry about what might go wrong, about what people think, or about whether they're good enough. And once those thoughts take hold, they start to spiral. One negative thought turns into another. And pretty soon they're stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and anxiety, paralyzed by the very thoughts they allowed to control them. But here's the thing, you don't have to live like that. You can change the narrative playing out in your mind. You can choose to control your thoughts. And when you do, you take control of your life. Let me break it down for you. Controlling your mind isn't about ignoring the hard stuff or pretending that fear doesn't exist. Fear is real. Doubt is real. But what you do with those feelings, that's what makes the difference. Are you going to let fear stop you? Or are you going to acknowledge it and keep moving forward anyway? That's the choice you get to make every single day. When you control your mind, you don't eliminate fear or doubt, you rise above it. You learn how to manage it, how to push through it, and how to keep going even when it feels like the odds are stacked against you. This is where discipline comes in. You've got to train your mind the same way an athlete trains their body. You don't just wake up one day with mental strength. It's built over time with intentionality and effort. You've got to be deliberate about what you allow into your mind. Too many people feed their minds with garbage, negative news, toxic social media, drama, and wonder why they feel so stressed and overwhelmed. But what you consume mentally is just as important as what you consume physically. If you're constantly feeding your mind with negativity, it's no wonder you're struggling to stay positive and focused. So what do? You guard your mind like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. You've got to be selective about what you expose yourself to. If it doesn't feed your spirit, if it doesn't align with your goals or your values, let it go. Instead, fill your mind with things that challenge you, that push you to grow, that inspire you to be better. Read books that make you think, that open your mind to new ideas and possibilities. Listen to people who motivate you, who've walked the path you want to walk, and who've overcome the obstacles you're facing. And here's another thing: surround yourself with people who lift you up. The company you keep has a huge impact on your mindset. If you're hanging around people who are always negative, always complaining, always doubting, that energy is going to rub off on you. But if you're around people who are driven, focused, and positive, that energy is contagious too. The more you expose yourself to positivity and success, the more your mind will start to reflect that. You'll start to believe in yourself more, to see opportunities where others see obstacles, and to push through challenges with confidence instead of fear. Controlling your mind also means being intentional about your thoughts. When a negative thought creeps in, you've got to catch it, challenge it, and replace it with something better. You can't just let negative thoughts sit there and fester. If you do, they'll take root and grow into something bigger than they ever needed to be. Instead, when you catch yourself thinking, "I can't do this," stop and ask yourself, is that really true? What evidence do I have that I can't? Most of the time, you'll realize that those negative thoughts aren't based in reality. They're just your fear talking. So challenge them, flip the script, and replace them with thoughts that serve you. Another powerful tool for controlling your mind is visualization. When you visualize your goals, your dreams, and your success, you train your mind to focus on what you want rather than what you're afraid of. When you can see it in your mind, you can start to believe it's possible. And once you believe it's possible, you'll start taking the actions necessary to make it a reality. Visualization isn't just daydreaming, it's a way of programming your mind for success. It's about creating a mental picture of where you're headed and letting that picture guide your actions. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice. Are you going to let the world dictate your thoughts, or are you going to take control of your mind? It's easy to get swept up in the chaos of life, to let stress, fear, or negativity take over. But you have the power to choose a different path. You have the power to focus on what you can control, to think positively, and to approach every situation with a mindset that says, "I can handle this, I've got this." When you start your day with that kind of intention, everything else falls into place. Meditation and prayer are also powerful ways to control your mind. When you take time each day to quiet your thoughts, to center yourself, and to connect with something bigger than yourself, you give your mind the space it needs to recharge and refocus. Meditation helps you become more aware of your thoughts so you can catch the negative ones before they spiral out of control. Prayer reminds you that you're not in this alone, that you're part of something greater, and that you have the strength to overcome whatever comes your way. The bottom line is this: controlling your mind is a daily practice. It's not something you do once and then forget about. It's a commitment to yourself, to your goals, and to your future. It's about taking responsibility for your thoughts and understanding that they have the power to shape your life. When you control your mind, you take back control of your destiny. You're no longer at the mercy of fear, doubt, or negativity. You're in the driver's seat, steering your life in the direction you want to go. So start today. Start by being mindful of your thoughts. Start by feeding your mind with the kind of information, people, and experiences that will push you towards success. Challenge the negative thoughts when they arise and replace them with thoughts that serve you. Visualize your goals, meditate, pray, and take control of your mind, because when you do that, you take control of your life. And once you're in control of your mind, there's nothing you can't achieve. Now let's dive into something that people often overlook but plays a huge role in how their lives unfold: your mood. Your mood is like the lens through which you see the world, and if you don't control it, that lens can distort everything around you. Think about it. You've probably seen it happen before. Someone wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, and all day they carry that bad energy with them. Every interaction is negative. Every obstacle feels like a catastrophe. They're walking around like the whole world is against them, when in reality, it's their mood that's the problem. They've let a fleeting emotion take over and dictate how they experience their day. But here's what you need to realize: your mood doesn't just happen to you. You have more control over it than you think. Your mood is not some external force that you're powerless against. It's not something you have to surrender to. Your mood is a choice. It's something you can regulate, something you can manage no matter what's happening around you. And when you understand that, when you realize that you have the power to control your emotional state, everything starts to change. Now, let's be clear about something: emotions are real. I'm not saying you should ignore how you feel. If you're angry, you're angry. If you're sad, you're sad. Those are legitimate emotions, and they deserve to be acknowledged. But here's the thing: just because you feel something doesn't mean you have to let it control you. Feelings are like waves. They rise, they fall, they come, they go. But you don't have to be swept away by them. You can learn to ride the wave instead of drowning in it. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that their feelings are facts. They wake up feeling stressed or anxious, and they start to believe that their entire day is doomed. But feelings are not facts. Just because you feel something in the moment doesn't mean it's the absolute truth. It doesn't mean your day is ruined or that your life is off track. It's just an emotion. It's temporary. And the moment you start to recognize that, the moment you understand that your mood is fluid and can be changed, you take back control. Here's where you start awareness. Most people go through their day on autopilot, completely unaware of how their mood is affecting them. They let their emotions dictate their actions without even realizing it. They're reacting instead of responding. But when you become aware of your mood, when you check in with yourself and say, wait a minute, how am I feeling right now? You give yourself the power to shift that energy. You become the one in the driver's seat rather than letting your emotions steer the car. Think about it. How many times have you let something small set the tone for your whole day? Maybe you got stuck in traffic, or someone said something that rubbed you the wrong way. Before you know it, you're carrying that frustration with you all day, snapping at people, getting irritated over things that don't really matter. You let that one small thing snowball into something much bigger than it needed to be. But when you control your mood, you can stop that snowball before it gets rolling. You can pause, take a breath, and decide how you want to respond. You can choose to let it go, to not let that moment define your entire day. And that's the key choice. You always have a choice when it comes to your mood. You may not be able to control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. You can choose to dwell on the negative, or you can choose to focus on the positive. You can choose to let a bad moment ruin your day, or you can choose to move on and make the best of it. It's all up to you. And when you start to see your mood as something you can control, you stop being a victim of your circumstances. You become empowered. Now, controlling your mood doesn't mean putting on a fake smile and pretending everything is okay when it's not. It's not about suppressing your emotions or ignoring how you feel. It's about managing your emotions in a way that serves you rather than letting them run the show. It's about finding healthy outlets for your feelings and making sure that they don't dictate your actions in a negative way. Let's talk about gratitude for a minute. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools you have for controlling your mood. When you focus on what you're grateful for, when you make a conscious effort to shift your attention to the good things in your life, it's almost impossible to stay in a negative state. Gratitude forces you to recognize that no matter what's going wrong, there's still something going right. It changes your perspective. It shifts your focus from what you don't have to what you do have, from what's lacking to what's abundant. So when you find yourself in a bad mood, when things aren't going your way, take a moment to stop and reflect on what you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be something big. It could be as simple as the fact that you woke up this morning, that you have a roof over your head, or that you have people in your life who care about you. Whatever it is, focus on it. Let it fill you up. Let it remind you that even in the midst of challenges, there's still something to be thankful for. Gratitude changes everything. Another powerful tool for controlling your mood is your mindset. You see, your mood is directly tied to how you think. If you're constantly thinking negative thoughts, if you're always focused on what's wrong or what's lacking, it's going to be hard to stay in a positive mood. But if you train your mind to focus on the good, to see challenges as opportunities and setbacks as lessons, your mood will follow. Your mood is a reflection of your thoughts. So if you want to control your mood, start by controlling your mind. Meditation and mindfulness are great ways to do this. When you take time each day to quiet your mind, to center yourself, you create space for positive energy to flow in. You become more aware of your thoughts, and that awareness allows you to shift your mood when it starts to go off track. Instead of reacting to every little thing that happens, you learn to respond with intention. You learn to choose how you feel rather than letting your emotions choose for you. And let's not forget about your energy. Your mood is contagious. The energy you put out into the world will come back to you. If you're walking around with a negative attitude, constantly complaining, constantly focusing on what's wrong, you're going to attract more negativity into your life. But if you're positive, if you're optimistic, if you're grateful, that energy will attract more of the same. People will want to be around you. Opportunities will start to open up. Success will start to come your way. So take control of your mood. Don't let it control you. Don't let a bad morning turn into a bad day, or a bad day turn into a bad week. Recognize that you have the power to shift your energy at any moment. You can choose to be positive. You can choose to be grateful. You can choose to see the good, even in the midst of challenges. And when you do that, you'll start to notice that your life begins to change. Your mood matters. It affects everything you do, from your relationships to your career to your overall happiness. So don't take it lightly. Pay attention to how you're feeling. Check in with yourself regularly. And when you notice that your mood is starting to go off track, take steps to shift it. Breathe, reflect, focus on what's good. Choose gratitude. Choose positivity. Choose to control your mood, because when you do, you take control of your life. And finally, let's talk about money. This one's big, and I don't mean just in terms of dollars and cents. I'm talking about the mindset you have toward money. Money can either be a tool that gives you freedom, or it can be a shackle that ties you down, weighs you down, and keeps you up at night. Too many people are controlled by their money or by the lack of it. They're out here living paycheck to paycheck, wondering how they're going to make ends meet. They're drowning in debt, feeling like they'll never catch a break. They don't have a plan, and because they don't have a plan, they feel powerless. But here's the truth, money, just like anything else in your life, is something you can control. You've just got to be intentional about it. You've got to make the decision to control it instead of letting it control you. First off, let me make something clear. Money is not the root of all evil. You've heard that before, right? People like to throw that around, but they're misquoting it. It's not the money itself that's the problem, it's the love of money. It's when you become obsessed with it, when you start chasing it at all costs, when you're willing to do anything and everything just to get more of it, that's when you get into trouble. But money itself, money is neutral. It's a tool. And how you use that tool, that's what makes a difference. You can use it to build something beautiful, something lasting, something that benefits not just you, but the people around you. Or you can use it recklessly, carelessly, and find yourself in a deeper hole than when you started. The choice is yours. So how do you control your money? How do you take the reins and stop letting it control you? It starts with a plan. You've got to create a plan for your money. You've got to know where every dollar is going before it even gets there. Too many people out here are just spending without thinking, without planning. They're reacting to every sale, every impulse, every fleeting desire. But if you want to control your money, you've got to be proactive. That means budgeting. That means saving. That means investing in your future. It's about being intentional with every dollar that comes into your hands. Now, budgeting might not sound like the most exciting thing in the world, but let me tell you something, budgeting is freedom. When you have a budget, you know exactly where your money is going. You're not guessing, you're not stressing. You're in control. You're telling your money what to do instead of wondering where it went. And when you're in control, when you're intentional, you stop letting your emotions drive your spending. Let's talk about that for a second. Emotions and money, they don't mix well. How many times have you had a bad day and decided to go out and spend money just to feel better? How many times have you told yourself, I deserve this, and bought something you knew you couldn't afford? Listen, I get it. We've all been there. But here's the thing. Just because you feel like you deserve something doesn't mean you should buy it. Just because you had a bad day doesn't mean you should spend money that's going to set you back financially. That kind of emotional spending is a trap. And if you're not careful, it'll keep you stuck in a cycle of debt and stress. You've got to be smart with your money. You've got to think long term. Don't just focus on the here and now. Think about where you want to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Think about what kind of life you want to create for yourself and your family. And then start making decisions that will help you get there. That means saving. That means investing. That means living below your means, even when it feels like everyone else is out there living it up. Let's talk about saving for a second, because a lot of people out here are not saving nearly enough. They're living for today, spending every dime they make and hoping that tomorrow will take care of itself. But tomorrow's coming whether you're ready or not. You've got to prepare for it. You've got to save for it. Start by building an emergency fund, something to cover those unexpected expenses that life throws your way. Because let me tell you something, life is going to throw you some curveballs. The car is going to break down. The roof is going to leak. You're going to have medical bills. If you don't have money set aside for those emergencies, you're going to find yourself in a hole that's hard to climb out of. Once you've got your emergency fund in place, start thinking about your future. Start thinking about retirement, about investments, about building wealth that will last. And here's the thing about wealth. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. It's about building something that lasts. Too many people are focused on making more money, but they're not paying attention to how much they're spending. They're making six figures, but they're living paycheck to paycheck because they're spending it all as soon as it comes in. That's not wealth. Wealth is when you've got something that lasts. Wealth is when you're building a legacy, when you're creating financial freedom for yourself and for the generations that come after you. And let me say this, financial freedom doesn't mean having millions of dollars in the bank. It means being in control of your money instead of your money controlling you. It means living within your means. It means having a plan. It means being intentional about where your money is going and making sure it's working for you, not against you. When you've got financial freedom, you've got options. You can live life on your own terms. You can pursue your passions. You can give back to your community in meaningful ways. You can invest in the things that matter to you. But you'll never get there if you're letting your money run the show. If you're letting your emotions drive your spending. If you're spending more than you're earning, if you don't have a plan. So here's what you need to do. Start by getting clear about where your money is going. Track your spending. Look at every dollar that's coming in and every dollar that's going out. And then create a budget that reflects your priorities. Make sure you're saving. Make sure you're investing. Make sure you're thinking long term, not just about today. And here's the thing, it's never too late to start. I don't care if you're 25 or 55, if you're just starting your career or getting ready to retire. It's never too late to take control of your money. It might take some time. It might take some sacrifice, but it's worth it. Because when you control your money, you're not just building wealth, you're building freedom. And that freedom will allow you to live life on your terms, to pursue your passions, to give back in ways that are meaningful to you. So control your money. Don't let it control you. Be intentional. Be disciplined. Make a plan and stick to it. Because when you do that, you're not just securing your financial future, you're securing your freedom. You're giving yourself options. You're creating a life that's not defined by stress, by limitations, by debt. You're creating a life that's defined by possibility, by opportunity, by abundance. And that's a life worth living. So take control. It's your money. It's your life. Don't let either one slip through your fingers. Let's bring it all together now. Control your mouth. Control your mind. Control your mood. Control your money. These are the pillars that will determine the quality of your life. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it. And that's where your true power lies. You're not a victim of circumstance. You're not at the mercy of life's ups and downs. You have the power to shape your reality, to create your future, and to live a life that's full of purpose, meaning, and success. But it all starts with taking control. Let's talk about your mouth. The words you speak are more powerful than you realize. You can speak life, or you can speak destruction. Every time you open your mouth, you're making a choice. You're building something up or you're tearing it down. You can build your relationships, your career, your self-esteem with the words you use, or you can sabotage them. When you're intentional about your words, when you speak with purpose, you'll see how much smoother your life runs. You'll notice people respond to you differently. You'll notice doors open for you that would have stayed shut if you were reckless with your words. And it's not just about speaking kindly to others, it's about speaking kindly to yourself. The way you talk to yourself matters. If you keep telling yourself you can't do it, you're not good enough, you'll never succeed, guess what? You'll start believing it. And once you believe it, you'll act on it. So control your mouth, because your words will create the world you live in. Next, control your mind. It's a battlefield, and the war is won or lost up here. Every action you take starts with a thought. Every habit, every decision, every goal you set, it all begins in your mind. If you don't take control of your thoughts, they'll run wild. Doubt, fear, negativity, they'll creep in and take over if you let them. But you don't have to let them. You can choose what you focus on. You can choose to fill your mind with positive, empowering thoughts. You can choose to feed it with knowledge, with inspiration, with faith. And when you do that, you'll find that your actions follow suit. You'll start making better decisions. You'll start pushing yourself harder, reaching higher, going further than you ever thought possible. Because when you control your mind, you control your destiny. Now, control your mood. Too many of us let our emotions dictate how we show up in the world. We let a bad day ruin everything. We let one small setback turn into a big problem. But your mood is your responsibility. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it. You can choose to shift your perspective. You can choose gratitude over frustration, optimism over despair. And when you make that choice, you'll notice your energy shifts. People are drawn to positive energy. Opportunities are drawn to positive energy. Success is drawn to positive energy. So don't let your emotions run the show. You're the one in control here. And finally, control your money. Money is a tool. It's not something to chase after endlessly, and it's not something to fear. It's something to manage wisely. When you're intentional about how you use it, when you budget, when you save, when you invest, you're setting yourself up for freedom. Financial freedom isn't about being rich, it's about having options. It's about being able to make choices that align with your values and your goals instead of being trapped by debt or limited by a lack of resources. When you control your money, you're not just building wealth, you're building a life. A life that gives you the freedom to pursue your passions, to help others, to live without constant worry. But let me say this, none of this happens overnight. You don't just wake up one day and suddenly have control over everything. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes discipline. And you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out right now. But you do have to start. Start today. Start with one thing. Maybe it's watching what you say. Maybe it's taking control of your thoughts. Maybe it's choosing to be positive even when things aren't going your way. Or maybe it's creating a budget and sticking to it. Whatever it is, take that first step. And then take another. And before you know it, you'll have built a life that's intentional, a life that's meaningful, a life that's yours. And as you do that, as you start taking control of these four areas, your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money, you'll begin to see a shift. You'll notice that you're not just living day to day, reacting to whatever life throws at you. You're creating your life. You're in the driver's seat. And that's a powerful place to be. But here's the thing, it's not just about you. When you take control of your life, you're also creating a ripple effect. You're inspiring the people around you. You're showing them what's possible. You're lifting them up. Whether it's your family, your friends, your community, when you live with intention, when you take control, you become a leader. You become a light in a world that desperately needs it. So don't wait. Don't sit back and let life happen to you. Take control. Control your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be quick, but it will be worth it. And when you look back one day, you'll see that you didn't just live your life, you created it. You shaped it. You owned it. And in doing that, you'll have built something that no one can take away from you. A legacy, a life full of purpose, of meaning, of success. So start today. Take that first step. Control your life because nobody else is going to do it for you. You have the power. The control is in your hands. So what are you going to do with it?